What's up, everybody? I just saw some people joined. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm actually just doing a little test. Um, I I don't know if any of you follow my channel, but what I was doing was taking the WRM V9 Special Edition and took the maglev, or took the springs out, which I know is kind of silly since. What's up, McKenna? But yeah, since I know that the springs and the edge repelling magnets are what they took out of this. I know it's silly to put the maglev back in, but it is 100 times better. Um, but yeah, let's do some solves. I think that'll be scrambled enough. Ah, yeah. So this this is the WRM V9 Special Edition, and actually the reason I'm testing it out is because I took the springs out and replaced it with maglev, which I realize is silly because they took the maglev out to make it a special edition, but without the edge repelling magnets and with the maglev added back in, this is my favorite cube. I have the, let's see, this is the RS3MV5 here. Um, these are some of my just all favorites. This is the WRMV9 Ball Core UV non-special edition, and then I have the YS3M here too. These are all some that I want to be kind of trying out. But to be honest, none of them are comparing with this WRM V9 Special Edition. Like, I mean, it's actually tighter than any of my other cubes were, so the rigidity is really strong. But like, I mean, the corner cuts, it performs all day, and that's the maglev. I did a video on this, but maglev definitely gives you better corner cutting. The springs just they want it when they compress, they don't do the same thing. Like when magnets get close, they really want to push apart. So like it'll let you get close, but it'll also snap it back. So that corner cutting is going to be really sharp. Um, Anyways, let's do another solve. WRM V9. I haven't tried the 20 magnet. I personally got the ball core UV, the like top of the line one before that came out, and then when the 20 magnet came out, I heard that it had less strong magnets, and I kind of wasn't interested. Um, let's see. Here it is. This is the non. This is the 8 magnet ball core UV, just standard. Um, but the special edition, like I said, I didn't like it until I put maglev in it. Let me make that clear for everyone. This has maglev put back into it. No edge repelling magnets, but maglev. Um, let's do another one here. Oh, messed up my R perm. Ugh. So here it is again. Shouldn't have been hard the first time, I'll put it that way. What's your current main? So that's kind of what this is about. I really like this WRM V9 Special Edition with maglev, so I'm trying to give that a chance. Um, Besides that, the YS3 is one of my all-time favorites. You can tell like when I'm talking about the rigidity of this. Like I obviously like stable cubes. I've the GAN 12 and 13 were like a contender for a minute, but I don't know this is the YS3, and this is the Pi Cube. But the Pi Cube, I mean, man, it flies. And those are just J perms. I don't know if it's a T perm. But yeah, it's not like so that's the first time it's really like over rotated on me. Like I can't say maglev has done anything but like increase the performance of this cube. I have to say like I really am happy with I had to reset that. I was really happy with how the maglev makes this cube perform. It's even a little bit like so. Here's your V9 with the ball core UV. Um, this one just I can definitely feel the edge repelling magnets, and I'm on record saying how much I like them. But man, not having them, but having the maglev, I think is just the sweet spot. It kind of almost makes me want to take the edge repelling magnets out of this one, and then they would be the same cube essentially. Um, yeah. Let's see. How many cubes do I have? A lot. Too many. And it depends. Like if you're talking 3x3s, I mean, this is just like these are just a few MoU ones that I'm picking between. Like here's some like I mean here's some 5x5s that I was just testing earlier, 4x4s. I have a whole other shelf, Megaminx, Cube, Pyraminx. That's actually so fair question, and that's going to be my next video. Have been asked by like a ton of people like to go through my whole collection, and just yes, I do know CFOP. I actually just did a beginner's tutorial on cubing on the channel there. CFOP is my method. I'm not a Rue or ZZ guy. Yeah, I think the collection would be fun. I don't know if were you? I think you were one that even suggested it, weren't you? Um, but yeah, it would be. It's going to be a lot of cubes. I'm going to have to like clear off this whole table, and it's going to take a while, but it'll be fun. Yeah, I thought so. I'm used to seeing you as I love yo-yo. But all right, let's do one with the YS3. This one just every time I pick this cube up, this thing feels spectacular. I don't have any scrambling. Like I don't have any CS timer or anything pulled up right now. I'm just doing hand scrambles. This is actually my first time going live. I just wanted to try it out. I'll have to do it more often, put a little more thought and planning into it. This was just kind of testing out and finding my new main. Let's see. What is the cube timer? This timer is the GAN timer. The Guhong Pro. I customized my batting. So yeah, I love the Guhong Pro the way it is. Hold on one second, I'll get it actually. So I have to say this is something else I want to say. Like whoever asked about the Guhong Pro, have you compared this like to? I mean, one, I love this cube as well. I don't know that there you really need to add anything else. You added edge to corner magnets, um, edge. So you strengthen the magnets between the pieces. Is that what you're saying? Edge to corner or edge to core? because those would be two very different things. But okay, yeah, got you, core. Yeah, that's what I figured you meant. Because it's so funny you say that too, because I got the Qi EM Pro and this cube at the exact same time, and the Qi EM Pro has edge repelling magnets and whatnot, and it didn't have near the autocorrect or anything that this cube did. This cube, see how well it finishes its turn. I'm barely flicking it. I mean, it really wants to make that finish that turn, and again. For $20 or $17 or whatever this cube was, it was ridiculous. This is the maglev. This is the 55 millimeter edition. Um, let's see, have you tried the 10? So yes, I was actually recommended by I think I was chatting with someone from Seed Shop, and they were like, "Hey, if you are interested in a really epic older cube with a great turning style and turning feel, go for the Tangen." And my neighbor actually had one, so I got to try it, and it is a great cube. I think it's probably the best Tangen. Would you agree? Um, but yeah, the Guhong. What I wanted to say was I have a post about this. But anyone who got the original Tornado V3 before the UV coating came out, I mean, this is literally what they looked like. They had this like semi-gloss, kind of glossy plastic, very square. Do I have a glow in the dark cube? I do not. That's a cool idea, though. That'd be actually a fun mod too. I swapped between it and the V9. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, for blind that makes sense. Blind is like the one event I have not tried yet. More power to you, man. That's awesome that you're a blind solver. Um, yeah, I've looked into like, I know you have to like map out your cube with letters and like write pretty much like write yourself a little story or however you want to do it. But it's pretty involved and pretty strategic mentally. So yeah, fuck yeah, right on. I use the GAN 11M Pro. Um, Oh, and thank you for the people who said you're very happy the channel's growing. I'm trying, just trying to have fun with it too, trying to do it, trying to engage with you guys because there's not a lot of like. It's not like you just hang out with a cuber on the corner or whatever, or meet cubers on the street or whatever. I met my neighbor just walking down the street. He saw he had a cubicle hat on, and I was like, "Do you cube?" And that was like the only person I've ever met in public that was just a cuber that ended up becoming friends with. So uh, thank you. Yeah, this is the GAN mat. This is the only one that like attaches to the timer. So I have like right here is the other GAN mat, which has like the exploded view of the cube on it. This one is the only one that has the actual buttons. So if you want like, because that was a big complaint people had about the GAN timers that it wasn't compatible with all the G4 or G5 timers and all the mats that go with it. But they do have a mat that goes with it. Um, so sorry, I know I can get talkie. Okay, where's the Y? There it is. We said we are gonna do a solve on the Y. What do you use as a camera? Right now, this is just a phone. Yeah, I'm very small time. I am just starting out. Yeah, I do have a camera, but right now this is just my phone because I'm trying to do future videos will have like an over the shoulder view because that's what I feel like is really missing is the proper perspective of the cube. Doing any kind of tutorials or even solves, like having that over the shoulder view is nice. So I'll probably use my phone in the future for that older over the shoulder, and then the camera for the head on, and do like a picture in picture. Um, I know it's all boring editing stuff, but that's something I'm working on. But good question. I love that you guys asked this stuff. And the GAN 11M Pro is awesome. Sorry, I didn't mean to skip that. I have the Mini M Pro, which I've been told is kind of like a 12-11 hybrid, but I still love it. It was one of my favorite GAN cubes for the longest time. Thank you. Like I said, maybe I'll make a glow in the dark cube. Maybe I'll. So there was also a recommendation from someone to do. They found a video of someone that was from another country in another language, and they said, "Could you do this?" And it was changed all the colors on the cube, pretty much like completely different colors than the conventional color scheme. So I think I'm going to do that as well. I want to do black, gray, like purple, pink, and like a pastel blue and green or something. I don't know, something weird. Um, I'm just gonna do some bunch of weird stuff, but yeah, I would love. I actually, it's funny you say that because I've thought about. I've actually planned out cube designs in my head. I know some people and talk to some people also that work in the cubing industry and that also design cubes and whatnot. And it's something that's why actually I really respect the YS3Ms because if Yu Sheng Do really put in his efforts on this, then he did a good job because um, this is something that I feel like a cuber would design, like this, the way this cube feels. But anyways, let's do another one. Here we go. God, I'm the worst with my left hand. I've said this a million times. I gotta practice that. J perm for once. Maybe make a cube without. Ooh, lights. That's dope. Let's think. How do we do power source on that? Just a little battery. If we can just get even a. Oh, I could do like. I'm sure you could do a simple like Type C port. If we get like a battery with a Type C port, like somehow, that would be cool. I'll have to. I'm gonna have to write. Let's write this down here. That's from Creative Fun Stuff. Got to give you credit. Lights, cube lights. All right. But yeah, even that solved, like it wasn't, anything world record or anything, obviously. But for me, that was pretty good. That was like a 30. And that was, I'm kind of talking and BSing the whole time. So I'm not really like, too focused. But to just kind of pop off like that, it's not bad. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if it keeps up. Let's go back to the V9 Special Edition. Oh, I almost messed that up. Whew. Almost, I completely did the. I started halfway through. I did half of a wrong PLL, reversed it, and then did the right one. As bad as that might have been, I actually saved that solve. I'm impressed with myself right now. What's your favorite event? Okay, um, I want to learn CFOP. Okay, so I just did a beginner's tutorial on CFOP. It actually does go through the steps. I don't know if you're a beginner or just past beginner or not, but I definitely have a tutorial for you. I mean, I just put it in like this week, and it's I've been told it's actually quite good. It's somewhat long. It's like 45 minutes to an hour, but it's very detailed for that reason. And I even then like if you look at some of my other videos, I go through some steps on how to transition from being a beginner and start learning your OLLs and PLLs and whatnot without being overwhelmed. Because I know what that's like. I was a new cuber just a year or two ago. So um, let's see. My V5 UV feels really sluggish. I'm not over lubing or under lubing. So the V5s that I've used, um, if they're what I should ask, what type of lube are you using? Because you could be, if it's a certain lube, you could be using a little bit and it could be drying up on you or something. It might be making a really like gummy, dry feel without even using a lot. It might not be anything you're doing or anything you're doing wrong. It might just be um, the type of lube or something. Because I have some cubes that I've lubed and when you first start using them, and that's I guess what break-in is, but when you first start using them, they feel terrible. I mean, and then like two solves in, all of a sudden they start really speeding up. And so again, it might be the lube you're using instead of the amount. I'd be very curious. And my favorite event, I mean, right now, so might be 4x4. Honestly, actually, I really like 4x4. It it it's too bad that people are so fast at it because it's the same reason I have that why 3x3 can be frustrating is it's a really hard goal to chase. Um, I'm using Setsu Lube Local Pizza since I can afford it. That's fair. I mean, you got to use what you can afford. No, nothing wrong with that, man. So I don't know much about that lube. Um, and you said it just feels sluggish. And your tensions are set. I mean, you have it not too tight or anything. I mean, that's pretty obvious, obviously, but because I have actually two V5s. I have another one right here, and I what I usually do. You can see they don't seem sluggish. They feel a little. So to be honest, they do feel like slightly sluggish compared to my special edition because this one has gotten pretty darn dry. Like I haven't put lube in this in a hot minute. Plus, I stopped using it because I didn't like the springs. Um, oh, okay. Clock. I should. So I didn't say clock, but I do love clock. I have mine right here, actually. I was just solving earlier, and this is a new event for me. So again, I'm not that fast. I just did a little tutorial because I learned it, and I love that it's. I mean, I don't know seven simul yet, but I love that like it's a pretty straightforward puzzle where there are more advanced techniques like any puzzle, but you can kind of start as a beginner and have a lot of fun with it. Yeah, clock is awesome. Not everyone loves it, but whatever. That's their problem. See, so you're up on me for sure. Like I said, this is a brand new event for me, but I do love it. I agree with you. Exactly. Yeah. It's fun. It gets you in there, and once you're in there, then you can really start going crazy on the techniques and whatnot. But it does. It's enticing because you're like, oh, this isn't so hard, and then all of a sudden you're hooked. um, What is the piece of art? Oh, cool. That's so glad someone noticed that. I usually have those door closed too. Um, so that is just a tapestry. It was done though by Alex Gray. I don't know if you guys saw my other post. I have a tool hat that's all custom done by Alex Gray. It was a present from my friends and family. It was a custom hat that he did. But and Alex Gray, if you're not familiar with him, he is the tool artist for Tool. On the lowest tension setting, and I haven't touched the screw. Man, I've tried cleaning it, which made it better temporarily, but after a few solves, it became sluggish again. Okay. Hmm. And when you clean it, did you take it apart and just like wipe it, or did you like use? Because you might even want to use like a little bit of like rubbing alcohol when you clean it out and get it really dry and fresh, and like get it really clean is what I mean. Like, um, because the alcohol shouldn't I mean, it shouldn't eat away at your plastic. I mean, most alcohol shouldn't. Like acetone or something would, like nail polish remover, but I think alcohol would clean it up pretty good. And at that point, if you can't get it to feel right, I would almost like contact that lube company or something because I've never quite heard of this. I mean, I was actually just at a comp, the one that I posted about the Happy Crew Deja Vu 2024, and everyone else, most of those kids there, they use their cubes as loose. I mean, I was like falling apart. They thought my cubes were over lubed and tight, and I thought I think mine are pretty reasonably set up. But I mean, this is like my tensioning. So you can, I've said this before. Like when I was starting out, Sean from Speed Review would always say like he'd like the edge of his footing to be like just visible or like just covered. So it kind of cuts down on corner twisting. It cuts down on a lot of things. Um, yeah, that's a good point. Try clean. I totally didn't even think of that because let's take this apart for a second. Let's look inside this cube, see what else it could be. Because I'm like, I mean, do you have animals or anything? Because I know this is like a, and I don't mean this any by offense, because I have hair in my cube right now. But like, do you have animals that you could get like hair inside there? Because that could, like, maybe something's getting like caught up inside. I disassembled the cube and wiped it with a fiber cloth tamper with it. Man, so you've really done it all, my man. Like I feel your frustration here because I'm even a little bit stumped. And is this yeah, yeah, I would say I agree with E-cubing. Try cleaning the ball core. I mean, essentially, if you've cleaned the rest of the pieces and the tracks and everything, then there's not much. You have to like kind of inspect what's left of the cube, and that's a good point. The ball core is something left that we haven't really talked about, or um, and like, have you ever? You said you've never even messed with the screws. I was going to ask you if maybe they got like cross threaded or something got. Trying to really rack my brain here. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep thinking about it, and if there's anyone out there that can help this guy or this person, I don't know if it's a guy or female or male, but don't mean to assume. But especially cubing is for everyone. But yeah, if anyone else can offer any advice too, please do. But about an RS3M V5 ball core UV edition that is getting sluggish. Yes, I am going to be at the May. Oh, it's the Pretzel Mania. I was like, the name, I blanked for a second. Pretzel Mania in Colorado. I will be there in May. Maybe I should save up for DM37 or Pi Lube. Thank you. Yeah, DNM, I mean, is pretty much like a safe way to go. Mystic is honestly one of my favorites. It offers quick speed and somewhat of a plush feel. Um, that's why I usually do a combination of like a small amount of angstrom because angstrom is thick and will gum up your cube if you go crazy with it. Um, and I'll do like Mystic just in a few corners and some DNM37, some FC Calm, FC Rush, something that's thinner, on the thinner base to speed it up after that. But Mystic is pretty quick for if I had to pick like one lube to go with, Mystic would be it. Um, Lunar. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you do Speed Cube Shop lubes, nice. I just haven't used theirs much. It's not. I have nothing against them at all. I just personally have not used them much. I did use Stardust. I take that back. I used Stardust at the comp. One of the kids had Stardust, and he was like, "Let me lube your cube." I said, "Okay," and he was all about that Stardust. And I asked him, and he goes, "Oh, I just ran out of cubicle lube. That's the only reason I'm using it." But they were very funny. But yeah, I liked it. That's actually what I lubed my Hong with. It was the only lube we really had at the table that we were cubing at, and this thing feels great. So yeah, Stardust is great. It's a quick one. It's very very liquidy if I remember correctly. It's the pink one, right? Um, and weight 5. So that's another one that like I feel like people don't always understand how to use also because when I first got weight 5, I dropped it right in the cube, and it felt like I was eating a peanut butter jelly and sandwich and just if dropped it inside my cube or like dropped a whole tub of Vaseline in here. It was like it was terrible. But I then realized after talking to the people from customer service, you don't put weight 5 in between all the pieces, especially as much as I did. So I've had to clean out my cube before, like what we're talking about with God, what was his cube Y mill, QB mill? I don't know what. Um, but yeah, anyways, sometimes you just got to keep trying until you get there. It's a lot of trial and error. Uh, oh, I have right here just so you guys want to see it. This was our giveaway cube. I was so happy with this UV coating. This was done just by me with. I mean, doesn't that look professional, man? I mean, whoa. Yeah, I've never felt a Malon. I like crunchy cubes such as the Chi Big Cube UV. Oh yeah, the big cubes are fun. I love the 7 mil. That's I feel like is that sweet spot for performance. Let's see in the RS3M 2020. That's actually, I think the RCM 2020 is what I'm gonna do for my next giveaway cube. I like that one as well. Let's see. Um, oh, so not the Guhong. Guhong's like silent. I would say like the GANs are pretty clacky. Also, like the YS3M can be a little clacky, but like as soon as you get it lubed, um, but the YS3, you hear that? That's pretty clacky. But the YS3 is it. I've been talking about it since I started. This I'm considering it as my main. Um, and yeah, so this would be one of my recommendations. One like the GAN 11 or 12 are pretty clacky. My GAN 13 is somewhat more. Feels more like I don't know if it's just the way I have it lubed. That could very well be, but it feels a little less like scratchy. I don't know. Let's see. All right, let's do another solve here. Well, that was a bonehead mistake. I literally took out a pair that I'd already put in. Yeah. Bonehead mistakes. Takes a lot of focus. That's what. So one thing I'll bring up, and this is a video I want to do in the future, is how like changing your surroundings changes your performance. So cubing here at home is nice and comfortable. Um, I have the Maylong 4M right here. Yes, I have. I love this cube. I did some solves on it earlier, and I actually just haven't posted them yet. But I actually did a comparison where I did the Aosu and the Maylong side by side, and this one actually the first solve I did slower on this cube, and I was getting a few lockups. I think I was just nervous on my first solve, and I was getting like some weird deformations of the cube, and but then I did one on the Aosu, and then I came back Maylong, and this one was the winner. So yes, Maylong is a great cube. The Maylong 4 is good. The Maylong 5M is good. I have the Maylong 7M. The Maylong 7M, I think, still takes the cake. That is a beautiful cube. It's like $20 for a 7x7, and it is epic. Epic. All right, I gotta calm down here. But it is. It's amazing. Like I had a friend, like my neighbor, he solves big cube. He's like he is epic, but yeah, he told me you gotta try that, and he was not wrong. Actually, and then didn't have no desire to go above 5x5 at that point. And then when he said that, and now it actually, I almost ordered the 6x6 too, and I don't like even numbered puzzles traditionally because of parity. That's like the only reason when you guys ask me what my favorite event is, I love 4x4, but I hate parities. so, so it's a hard one. Um, so yeah, this is my first live stream. I literally just like I saw the button the other day and I was like, why don't I ever do that? Um, I don't know why I don't. I think it's also too when you're new, you feel like you don't have much to say maybe, or I don't know. Uh, yeah, it's just once the more confidence you get, talking and engaging with people, because that's the other thing is too. It's one thing to sit here, and just make videos and talk to yourself. It's another thing to actually interact with people. So yeah, I will definitely do more live streaming though. This is very fun and very cool. I love getting to interact with people. I mean, that's why I made this channel, was because it's so hard to interact with cubers. I mean, you can talk to people online or you can watch YouTube channels, but besides going to comps, there's not a whole lot of ways where you can just like interact with cubers, try new cubes, ask questions, um, just really truly like dig deep. Um, what lube do you use? Use Comet. So I use a combination of, I usually do angstrom, dignitas, and gravitas on the track of one piece, and just that's it for that. And then I do mystic. I'll do like two corners, and then I'll flip it over and do like the opposite two corners, and just kind of then cycle that through. And then I'll usually drop some like something thin, like DNM, FC Calm or Rush, something real thinny. That'll make sure it stays speeded up. Um, it's interesting though, like everyone talks about FC Rush and Calm being so similar, and they feel like that at first, but I feel like FC Calm kind of not gums up, but it loses that watery because they're supposed to be non-water based, but they're very thin. But it loses its watery nature really fast, and I think that's what leads to that like kind of gum feeling where it takes like one or two solves to like get back to that fast feel. Um, all right, we got like 1,000 cubes sitting here, but it's all good. This is what it's all about. Ooh, end perm. I actually like end perms. A lot of people don't. Let's see. I take like 40 of these things. So, dude, that's fine. Don't even don't even stress. Like, so do I. I mean, like all the time. Like if I really practice and I go all day, I'll get down to like 15, 20. I mean, I know that sounds like a drastic drop in comparison, but like when I'm talking and like when you get into that flow state, like I definitely start zoning in, like at the comp actually. And this brings me back to what I was saying earlier, like changes in your environment. Um, Yes. So, oh, real quick, best alg, my favorite. I really like I said, the N. What is it? I think it's the N A perm. It's yeah, I know it's long, but I love that one. I love the feel to it. Of the and that last like double that like kind of that two flick and that little. I just love that feeling. Let's see. And then I obviously like J perms just because of the rotational flow on that is so nice. Like, um, and then, but you got to if you like J perms, you kind of got to like T perms because the T perm is so much like a J perm with the setup moved but moved to the end. So, and then now you have the first three moves of a J perm to finish it. So yeah. Oh, oh, ha, ha, ha. This is awesome. So I that was so if you take a pair out. Um, uh, if you take a pair out just like this, and then instead of reinserting it just the way you would, and it resets the cube, I find this fun. So I'll take it out. I'll do the full like righty alg to where it takes it out and lines it up on the right side here, and then if you sledge it back in, it leaves you this like square dot case, and then you just do it again, you get this like T case, and I just like playing with the cube and seeing what happens. F perm is the best out. So that's I love F perms. Same thing has like a three move setup and then it has an epic finish. I just and then three times through the little like sledging thing and it resets the cube. But F perms are great. Oh, of course, I just botched it. um, but they are I F perms. Oh, and you guys are gonna probably judge me like crazy for this one. So I do my A perms wide move T perm. So and so just like we were talking about T perm algs. So I'll do that same thing, but with wide moves, and do my A perms. I will admit that's a weird finger trick to push over like that. But and then again, here's your F perm. It's just that one. I love that, like at the end, that like wrist flick, that like, yeah. I just, so what is and I have to ask because everyone always asks me. So like for that kid that's talking about his V5, like mine, it's like already feeling so loose and fast just from like I wasn't playing with it or wasn't using it before. But like, oh, hold on, let's see the flex on this thing. Like, so I have mine pretty loose, but you can hear like the clackness of it. I don't know if that kid's still in the room or not, but like, um, I don't know. I have not had any experience like that with my V5. My V5 is like in contention for one of my main because I think it's so reliable, and I think that Moe's kind of jerking everyone around, not offering a $25 cube of this quality and then offering that $100 super Waylon. Like, come on. I used to do that too. I changed back to, yeah, the normal A perm is better. I don't argue that at all. What happened is I was in the middle of learning my PLLs, and I just figured that out. I was just like I was actually doing just righty outs while I was watching TV. I was just kind of like spacing out doing this, and I just like building my muscle memory however I can, and when I just was like, well, what would happen if, because the first three moves of a T perm are the first three moves of a righty out. So I was just like, what would happen if, you try this algorithm until it resets back to home state? I'll do it right now. R, U, R prime, so right L, R, F, is this a T perm? Yeah, that was a T perm with what is on the end here? Let's see. U, R, U prime, R prime, F prime. Interesting. So it literally sets up the same thing as the sledge. Interesting. Okay, let's do it again. Oh, yeah. Dun, 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 dun. And now we have a hook. Dun, 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 dun. This is fun. Let's see where this takes us. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, there it is. Thanks, Cube Y Mill, QB Mill. I wish I want to know how to say that so bad, so I'll stop mispronouncing it. But that was fun. Like, see, I love stuff like that. Like playing with the cube and understanding how the pieces moves. Like might not be at sub 10 or sub 20 or whatever, but like I say this all the time. Like I understand how the puzzles work. I may not be the fastest, but like I can explain to someone how to solve a puzzle. I can explain like so. Yeah, it's all about growth. We're all humans and we're all growing. So, I mean, until you're an adult and you stop growing, like literally, or until you become an old fart and you stop having an open mind. I hope I never become that person. All right, so yeah, so this is kind of like that's why I really didn't know what to say to that kid because my cube is so clacky and so dry and loose. I'm like, so I have not looked into Rue. I've heard a lot about it. I've actually studied it a little bit. Do you personally like it better? I mean, do you have good results with it? Because I've never, no, I haven't actually like considered switching. I've only kind of done research into it. Um, I'd be very curious because I do know there's a good amount of roof solvers out there. It's not like it's a bad technique or anything. Should have sledged. Uh, ooh, I never get a U perm anymore. I feel like I always get G perms or something difficult. Um, I'm switching to it for one hand. Ooh, interesting. And I'm actually literally learning one-handed right now. I mean, I'm like just starting, but like what what is a good cube you recommend? I heard the V5 is actually a good one-handed cube. Um, I'm just so the way I would usually do one-handed is I would do like with my ring finger, I would push and I'd pull over and then I would do that last and then dun 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 dun. So that's what happens. Though sometimes the cube falls out of form, and then but like I know that's not how you're supposed to be doing pinky and then ring or pointer finger to flick the back of that, and then this is where my pinky gets caught up is doing this one, doing that flick, and then the last part's easy. I mean, if you can get going, um, uh, like if you can, get kind of going on it on that alg or on that it's that pinky man. But yeah, I mean, this can't take too long. But I alternate between pinky and ring. Yeah, I would too. Like, cause it was a J perm like tutorial I was watching, and he just straight up was all pinky, and that's I think it's whatever works for you. But yeah, but thank you. And D5 is what I use for C fob. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I've heard V5 is great for one-handed. That's everything I've heard is that this is the cube. I probably would like just learn how to spam. Yeah, exactly. And that's you can see I'm just starting that trip that little expedition. But yeah, you thank you. I appreciate you saying that because um, that's pretty much what I've been doing is just trying to make that get really fast, and then I think from there because I can do one-handed solves. They're just not fast. Like and it's funny how when you try to do a PLL or OLL one-handed and you don't have both hands for the framework to hold and move and but then you also because you're doing it slowly, you have to really try and remember the algs where your muscle memory does not save you. Um, I'm gonna do a 2x2 solve. This is the giveaway cube. Um, I don't do a lot of 2x2 lately, but I know my algs. Uh, Oh god. I gotta skip my first try. Lucky me. But yeah, this is God. This giveaway cube came out amazing. I'm super bummed that I even have to give it away just because when you do this much work, I mean the magnetization and whatnot is cool, but the UV coating looks so nice. And I like I was saying, I wasn't kidding when I said on my videos that I don't think I even own a cube that came out this nice. I think that all of my giveaway cubes have been kind of the nicest ones I've ever done. I don't know if I just put that little bit of extra attention into it. Um, oh, dude, take care. Thank you for chiming in. I really appreciate it. Have a good night. Now please try it again with two inverse sexy moves. The case is OLL 55. Do it 12 times. Oh God. Or use your normal two inverse. Okay, we have R E. Um, did I do something wrong? Did U R U prime R prime F prime? How to rotate? Okay, I'm gonna actually jump on that. How to rotate less because I do. a lot of rotating, and I know it's not proper. But I do know some tips that even I'm working on, and that's so the one thing you can do is really start planning your pairs. Again, this is I forget a lot of my own advice when I'm solving. That's my first live stream. I want to make that known. So a lot of my solves I kind of like blank trying to have a conversation at this conversation at the same time. But rotating less than F2L is absolutely about getting your first pairs in the back. If you can get your first two pairs into the back and set, and you can just forget about them, you can then be working on the front and not really need to rotate. And then everything can be usually achieved using U moves. Like I said, I'm really bad at this. I get like a little bit panicked and then I start, where's the piece? And I know that's very common for people, but that's something to work on. I've actually just talked about this with both Phil and Jesse on their live stream, and then my neighbor. We talked in depth about this actually, about how how the how to increase efficiency in F2L and whatnot, and that's rotating less is a huge part of that. Like you want to cut down on regrips and rotations, the two R's there. So yeah, hopefully that helps. I bet here's the setup for. uh, okay, let's see. Um, F R prime F prime U2 R U R prime U R2 U2 R prime. You said put the three blocks in front, okay. And you said do it how many times? Is it 12 times I do this? Is that what you said? Um, let's see. F R M E E R E R E R E E E. And then keep the three blocks, I'm guessing, in front. Now do it one time. Uh, it's doing something. All right, now I got a soon. I feel like I should have circus music playing when I mess up that bad. So I did it again. Okay, let's do a solve on here. Let's try and implement what we were just talking about. Let's try and rotate less. So also planning out your cross and trying to see your first pair. That's a huge part of it too. This is all like look ahead and efficiency are huge, huge parts of how to um, increase or make your F2L less rotational. Okay, so I'm gonna rotate once. All right, so sledge that in. I can do this. Now these are in the front, so now we can switch and put that in the back, and now everything we're doing is in the front here. So, and now we just have our last pair. And now really you only had a couple rotations so far. Uh, I swear, when I'm talking, I just like almost blank on my on my PLLs. But so yeah, like I said, that's the way I would do it is try and get your first pair. Even if you build them in front and then do one rotation, that's still a lot better than constantly rotating back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Um, Yeah, right. I love that. I love that you do, man. I love making my own algorithms by combining and adding more moves. Absolutely. That's actually another one of the videos I want to do is how you can manipulate, especially when you're in the middle of learning all your PLLs. You there's some that are just harder than others. Like I finally know them all, but I don't do them all the same speed yet or anything. But like for people that are just starting out, and I had some tips on like maybe learning everything that involves like for OLL, learning everything that involves the cross because with one move with six moves essentially you can set up a cross. Uh, from the beginner method or whatever. So I just, it's not bad to implement a few kind of crossfade ideas from the beginner and advanced method while you're getting there. Just make sure not to lean on those beginner method, ideas as a crutch and never learn, just like we were talking about learning the A perm. Like I definitely will need to learn the regular A perm. It has less moves, it's more efficient, it's faster. I've talked to multiple cubers about this. It's just what happened to be more comfortable for me at the time, and then I got busy wanting to learn them all, and I figured it's more important that I know them all and I can come back and learn the other versions later. Because it's just if you really want to get into speed solving, you really need to know all your PLLs. I mean, same with OLLs and I mean everything eventually, but take it a step at a time and don't let yourself get overwhelmed because um, yeah, I've been cubing about 2 years, just so everyone knows. I started and I have a background. I have a degree in chemistry. I have a degree in engineering, and then I have a degree in music theory. And I just kind of got into cubing, and I love the whole. I don't know. I love the patterns. I love the analysis. I love the quick decision making and whatnot. And like I said, this is why I want to make that video about where you cube and how that affects your mindset. Because I can tell you for a fact, my best times I've ever gotten, my PBs, were at the airport. We're at a cubing competition, racing just at a table somewhere. Really random places, but they were not sitting here at this table in my comfy little chair. Um, so that's something to think about. And like I said, I'm going to make my own little video about that. Real quick, let me just plug in my phone. I don't want it to die. That would be bad. Let's see. Okay. Orientation is locked. I have to try and make this work somehow. This will be interesting. Holy moly. I don't even know. Oh, shit. I don't know how to get this to stand correctly. Oh well. I guess if my phone dies, then the stream is over. All right. Oh, I have an idea. Gotta be smarter than the phone. There we go. Bam! You have no idea what I had to do to make that work. I hope you guys hung in there with me for a minute. Sorry. I have my phone propped up on top of two cubes and have the charger cable coming down between the two cubes. Uh, but yeah, I started doing 2 years ago. I've been solving every day since now. Yeah, see, like I'm right there with you. It's like I like I said, if I'm really dialed in, I'll get to my sub 20 times. Um, if I'm not, if I'm not warmed up or whatever, I'll solve in like the mid 20s, 30s, not really 40s anymore, but like 20s are usually what I like really easily. But but yeah, I totally feel you, and I'm glad to know that there's other people on the same journey because I feel so far behind. I'll bet you though I am older than you. um, a lot of people don't realize how old I am. Again, you don't go to college and all that when you're 10. So, hey, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Um, we've just kind of been chatting about a few different things, doing some solves, doing some analysis on how we can get better. If you have anything you'd like to add, you're welcome to. Welcome. Man, you're sub 15 already. Nice. That is awesome. Oh my God, I don't know why. I never recognize e-perms. I don't know why I never do. Um, for some reason, it takes me a minute. Let's see, my friend convinced me to learn Rubik's Cube in 10th grade. Now I'm 12. Right on. See, I wish I would have started younger. I'm well out of high school. uh, but no, that's awesome. Seriously, like congratulations on that too, because um, yeah, I wish I actually my cubing journey started because I moved into this house and there was a Pyraminx sitting just on a random speaker somewhere that they left behind, and it just got my interest piqued. Um, yeah, and then I started just watching YouTube, doing all kinds of stuff, and I got really into it. And then the obsession became like a thing where now I just want to pretty much solve every puzzle. Like I just actually was just working on this bad boy. This thing is so fun. This was just a free puzzle I got from ordering from the cubicle, but um, it rotates on like a million different axes. It has all of these rotate, which let you rotate and like mix. Then you once you spin those, then you keep rotating. I mean, this thing gets so jacked up. Um, I actually have it twisted to look kind of cooler. It's supposed to look like that, and they have like a two, three, and four color version. But I just love puzzles. Like I that thing took me all of like 10 minutes to solve, and it's not easy. It was supposed to. I wasn't. Don't think it was supposed to be easy. Um, uh, yeah, that's why I got the clock recently, is just because it was another puzzle to solve. Same with Megaminx. That I really like Megaminx. I don't know how many Megaminx solvers are out there, but so do you, by the way, I should ask you, so do you thank your friend all the time for turning you on to cubing? Or are you mad at him because he's ruined your life? So right there, I had actually missed, um, sorry, I'm talking at the same time, but I want to make a point here. I had missed a cross piece, and I had already started making my pairs, and um, one great thing to do, and I'm sure most of you already know this. I'm truly grateful, Sylvia, but right? Thank you. I like this guy, QB Mill. That's cool. I just love anyone who has a great appreciation for puzzles. And yeah, Broken, was that his name? Yeah, right on to you, man. Seriously, that like props to you for getting so fast so quickly. I'll be honest, I do have a job and stuff that does keep me kind of from cubing as much as I want. I'm not using that as an excuse. I'm bummed. I wish I could sit here and cube all day. Um, it's funny, I got asked at a comp. There's a bunch of kids, and I had this whole backpack full of cubes, and I wasn't competing that day. The registration had closed, and I couldn't get in. Um, well, they missed out then, I guess, huh? Because you're gonna be a boss at this, and you're gonna be killing it at the comps, and they're gonna be just sitting at home playing video games. And I will all day. I know there's a million gamers out there in the cubing community, but I gotta believe that cubing is a little bit better for your brain than gaming. Um, I'm I'm somewhat of a gamer. I'm not like a huge, not as big of a gamer as probably some people, but um, yeah, you see most of these people, especially all the YouTubers, they have like 10, $20,000 computers, and they just sit there casually in front of their like super decked out like Alienware or whatever computer. Oh, our first fumble from the makeshift phone stand. It's working so well so far, so I'm not going to complain. But yeah, I it's hard to even compete with those people because they have so much tech. Like someone asked me, "What am I using for my camera?" I'm like, "This is my phone." I just like I said, I just really love puzzles, and I want to get engaged with people. Like there'll be a day when what's your first cube in which you learn to solve a cube? Mine is a cube less than $1. Yeah, you want me to grab it? I'll show it to you guys. It was a Chi Warrior S. It was like $3 or $4, and non-magnetic, matte finished. And I added magnets, added UV coating. Let me 1 second. I'll grab it. So again, I did this. This is another one I UV coated myself. This was like one of the first ones I ever did. That's why it's not like my favorite. I just don't think it's as perfect as the giveaway cubes are. But um, yeah, actually, I had this at the comp also, and these everyone there was like, "This is like a viable speed cube," and I said, "It is now," because yeah, it was. But yeah, it was a $4 Chi Warrior. I will probably always have this thing. I put the strong magnet kit in. The custom 2x2 looks so nice. Yeah, I gotta agree. Let's see. Let's get that shine. I mean, it'll literally like reflect if the light's hitting it right. It'll like reflect your own image at you. It's so shiny. So you guys can get this cube. Remember, this is our giveaway cube. I'm just kind of displaying it for now, but I mean, it really did come out nice. Those magnets are like perfect. The blue shade looks weird. On this one, yeah, it's a Maylong. That's so. Oh, or you mean on this one? So both actually look weird. The Warrior has like kind of pastel colors. Like look at even the red's kind of like a pinkish red. They're all kind of off. Like that's another reason why like I bought this and didn't even know that the colors weren't right. Like so. Yeah, the blue looks totally weird. And even on the Maylong, like look how pastel-y the green is compared to like the Guhong's a great comparison. Like look how dark this is and look how light this one is. Yeah, let's you guys compare. So what made you get into customization? Because customization isn't easy. No, it's not. That's why I was saying I'm not super stoked about giving this away. I mean, I am because I appreciate the support and all the participation from the people. So I'm very stoked for someone to get this. And I'm actually really excited for someone to get this and go, wow, this is way nicer than I thought it would be because this is about as nice as I could make this, I think. I don't think I could do much better. But this channel, so first customizing for people, I wanted to do something, but also, well, I guess that actually, no, that wasn't first. First was customizing for myself. I mean, I wanted to make cubes just how I wanted them. Like I said, this cube, I always wanted to I always thought, what would this feel like if it had magnets, or what would it feel like if it had UV coating? Because the whole reason I got into UV coating, so the real reason behind that's the real, actually, I should say that's the real answer, is because I bought the Tornado V3 1 week before it came out with a UV coated version. I saw it on the cubicle a week later, and I was like, "What the heck?" I emailed them and everything, and I looked at my receipt, and I finally realized, I said, "Did I buy this cube like literally 7 days before they released the UV coated version?" And they said yes. So no one's fault. My own fault. They didn't do anything wrong or anything. It's just so I decided. I looked into it, and I realized there was possibilities. Um, to UV coat yourself. And so that's really what got me into customizing, is I wanted to be able to do and get that like feeling and get that premium quality, even if, because I had already spent my $40-50 on my Tornado V3. Like the original Pioneer was expensive without the UV coating. It was like $40 at least. And so I was like, I guess I got to do it on my own. So that's how that happened. And again, same with this cube. I was like, well, now that I got the skills, let's UV coat it and magnetize it and see if we can't make it nice. Um, my first cube was some random 25 PHP cube from SpeedCube, and was, oh, nice. Man, what do you get for 50 cents? What cube costs 50 cents? I would love to even try that. Because even the Maylong feels kind of cheap when you first start, before I customize it. And my job, I work as the head of a lab as a chemist. Um, yeah, I work actually, right now I am in Colorado, and I'm going to be moving back to California. But yeah, like I said, I went to college for a while, and kind of went started for music, and then I ended up for science. It was like kind of a, like, I don't know if you've ever, I don't know, anyone who is too young for college or anything on this, I apologize. Actually, I put this is not for kids, so everyone in here should be adults. But even if you're not, if you didn't go to college or whatever, but that's totally, that's a valid choice these days. Like, because I went to college and I started studying music theory, I started studying engineering, I started studying audio engineering, just kind of a blend. And then I just I realized that those classes are very specific at specific times, and they don't really like make it very easy on you. They don't put all the music classes and engineering classes that were not in a block in one day. So I would find that I'd have like an hour or two in between classes. And so I would go and I'd sign up for like a chemistry class or this or that. And then when I went to go graduate, I went to my counselor and I said, I've never come in here before, but I would love to ask you guys, am I on track? And she said, not only are you on track, you actually took a whole extra degree worth of classes. So she goes, if you take one extra semester of chemistry, you'll graduate with a third diploma. So I figured, why not? I literally just went to one semester of one class for one semester. It was great because I had college had been a grind. I had done it 8 hours straight every day, and not, you can pick and choose and make your schedule nice and light and fluffy, but I did the grind. And then so last semester is so simple. um, College is pretty weird. At the moment I'm doing computer science, but I'm very tempted to switch major. That's interesting too, because cubes in the Philippines are okay. The GAN 12 is originally present. Wow. Wow. That's interesting. I guess that makes sense. They're not shipping it all over the world and whatnot. But back to I want to buy a cube. What do you recommend? So first of all, what kind are you looking for? 2x2, 3x3, 4x4, like a foot solving cube. That's always my joke. But back to this college guy's point, 3x3. I personally, my recommendation is usually the RS3 MV5. Um, for You can get a ball core UV cube for $25. I don't really care at all about the robot, but I mean, they're fine or whatever. But it's really about the cube. I mean, my one of my friends, little kids, his little son asked me, what cube should I get? And this was the cube, and he's a a famous Fortnite player already. He's only 11 and he's about to become famous and become a professional when he turns 13. He's a big deal. And yeah, I told him go ahead and get this cube, and he liked it. He had a GAN already, and he had already broken it. But yeah, it's funny about you said that about computer science because that was uh, my original degree, and I was doing um, computer programming. What city, California? I'm moving to Long Beach. Yeah. Uh, the GAN 12. I've never actually tried the GAN 14, so it's a lot like the Super Waylong. So I was really into GAN when I started. I got the GAN Mini M Pro, the 12 UI, the 12. I have the 13 and the 14. Like I very much agreed that there was too many customization options, and I'm not interested in that. And kind of the same with the Super Waylong. Like I didn't feel like I needed adjustable magnets in it. So when people said that that gave it a scratchy kind of feel, and it was twice, three or twice, or a little over twice the price of their standard version one, their WRM, I just didn't find the purpose. But um, GAN 11, GAN 12. Yeah, I would say GAN 12 over GAN 14, for sure. Uh, I think it's so much more user friendly. You don't have to do so much setup on it. It's not so ridiculous. Yeah, I've just heard so many things about the GAN 14 being just too much. Um, yeah, that's like again, that's the same reason I didn't get to go for the Super Waylong. I used to be the guy that would totally jump when they would put out those big cubes, those expensive cubes, because I figure I come from the world where you get what you pay for, and usually the best is the most expensive. I mean, that's the America that we live in, and that's just not the way it is. Um, nice. I'm from Clovis. Okay, cool. And I'm originally from California. I moved to Colorado for family, um, and I fly back to California every month for work. Um, But yeah, Clovis, California is beautiful. Oh, don't worry about it. You said it twice. Don't worry about it. Um, can you guess where I'm from? Ahmad Ridam. I mean, if I'm going off of your name, I would guess like Middle East, but you could easily you could easily be from the U.S. I mean, I feel like that's just like racial profiling at that point. I don't want to be that guy. Um, But yeah, I mean, like I said, the only thing I have to go off is your name. What do you prefer, Tornado V3, Pioneer, or Gant? Um, ooh, that's a really good question on that one because those I actually both love. I just rebought the Tornado V3 Pioneer UV, and then man, who is it that had the problem with their RS-205? Because mine is feeling so loose and fast, and as I haven't used it this much, and I feel like it's getting really broken in. Um, and especially it's that clacky cube someone was asking for. But Tornado V3, I think just because it's cheaper. It's cheaper for one. The performance is awesome. The only thing is with there are some quality control issues with the Tornado V3. I have two of them, and I've had one corner magnet come barely loose, and I just tapped it and it popped back in place. So I can't say anything bad about the V3. But I love the GAN 13. That was my like favorite GAN for the longest time. I got that before I got the GAN 12. Should I buy the YS handball cord? Um, so in that instance, I like the YS3M. It's a little bit cheaper. I know like the UV coated one's like 36.95 or something like that, but it's a little bit cheaper. I guess the V3 Pioneer, if you don't get the UV coated, it's probably actually like the same price. I just realized that. Um, but I would get the YS3M. So you're gonna really need to be ready. The YS3M is very like blocky. Where did I put it? Very it's heavy. It's 80 like 5 grams or something like that. It's a little heavy. It's very slick and slippy. Like I say this about even the cubes that I coat. For some reason the UV coating makes it seem like it's like slicker. Like you don't have that matte plastic rubbing against each other, giving it that sandy feel. But This thing's really blocky, and again, it has it, but that doesn't sacrifice any bit of performance. Just so you know, like the YS3M has amazing. This is what I'm in the beginning of the stream. I was talking about how this is in contention for my main. I'm between the RS3M V5, the YS3M, and the WRM V9. Um, those are my and all MoU. Um, so you never said Hamad Ridam. You never said where you're from. I tried to guess, like I said, Middle East is where your name sounds from, but I don't wanna just assume. Um, haven't we tried the WRM V9? Yes, so the V9 ball core is right here. I have the special edition here, which has the springs and edge repelling magnets, or and edge repelling magnets removed. I added maglev back to this, so the only difference between the ball core UV and this are now the edge repelling magnets. And I can tell you, I didn't like the special edition when it first came out. I'm probably one of the only few people, but I love this cube now. Ever since I put maglev in it, I was able to tighten it, create some more rigidity. Because I've talked about this a lot with maglev, though. You can tighten it more. Like the cube doesn't nearly flex as much as like this one opens up. Like it just really is flexy, where this one doesn't flex near as much. I mean, it might if I'm really pulling on it, it might, but like um, it feels. And also the springiness from the magnets feels really good. You can really feel that as the magnets. So like where springs, the more you compress it, it almost starts to lose. Like it'll get it has that loaded tension, but like magnets, the closer they get, the more spring they really like sort of and they want to pop back out. So um, yeah, I prefer the maglev over springs. I think it makes corner cutting better. Like when I first got this cube, I could not get the corner cutting and the tensions whatnot to match. I could not get it to where it performed well and felt like the right, looseness and whatnot for my turning style. If I tightened it too much, I couldn't even corner cut it like 35 degrees, not even like barely line to line. It was terrible. And where the maglev changed all of that. If you look at my how to add maglev to your cube video, I talk all about that. Like the maglev changed all of my standard cubes because I bought all of the MoU cubes in standard to compare them to their ball core UV edition, and all of them ended up getting maglev because it was better. So what lubes are best for speed? Like I was just saying earlier, Mystic is great. It gives a good cushiony feel, but it keeps it fast. FC, Rush, and Calm are good. D&M is good. Let's see what else do I got in here. Um, I use Silk. I use Silk, but it's not good for speed. Um, can one magnetize a GAN 356 Air Pro? Absolutely, I think so. I know you can magnetize the RS for sure. I don't personally have never taken like the 356 Air apart, so I couldn't tell you like the inside fundamentals of it. But and is the YSUM blockier than unset up? Uh, yeah, I mean, like when I say blocky too, I mean like literally the pieces are blocky. Like if you look how square this cube looks. Like I know obviously all cubes are square, but you can see like most of them have like rounded kind of edges, rounded features. This one, like even look at these corners, the corners of these corner pieces, they are like sharp. They are sharp, sharp. One of the reasons again I think is to cut down on corner cutting. I mean, look how hard that is. I can't even get that to. Oh, there it goes. Or not corner cutting. Sorry, corner twisting. Um, so I think that Yu Shang Du did a pretty good job of designing this cube for the cuber, and that's why I really do recommend it. But it is a bit blockier. But if you're used to the RS3M, I don't think it's going to be an issue. Like I said, it feels more stable. It feels more put together um, and more kept together. Like it keeps its form. Um, what 2x2 do you recommend with a $20 budget? I would say like the MGC Elite or the RS2M Evolution. Um, I personally main the GAN 251 Leap, but I know those are a little expensive, so that's not going to be in the $20 budget. But you think you could get like the can't you get like the 251 Pro like matte just the basic one for like 25 or 30 or something like that. But like the base level GAN 251s would be good too, and it'd be a little more expensive than 20, but not bad. Um, and guess where you're from? I mean, I Japan. You have a symbol for yen in your as your logo, so I would guess Japan. Um, and it says you at Ny. Darth Vader's stepdad. I was the one. Oh, what's up with the mail? Yay! I know almost no one that solved Rubik's cubes as well. Here goes. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, because I'll be down in Long Beach. I know most people are super weird about like telling their locations or like whatever, but like I said, I'm actually one of the reasons I like the online and like YouTube community is because you get to interact with actually other cubers that are so hard to meet in real life. It's like unless you're at a comp, you're pretty much on your own. And it's like any cuber knows, like unless you're your family, like you have kids that cube or you have other like siblings that cube, you're kind of on your own. Like I've had a very oh that's a cool name though. And I mean, I wasn't a bad guess, right? I mean, it's a similar area of the world, and I based it off of something I actually knew. I mean, figured like that's not a bad guess. But welcome from the Philippines, man. Is it pronounced Juan or is it pronounced like yen? But yeah, it's so hard to meet people in the community, like I said, and really like connect and whatnot. So, um, I will when I'm actually relocate, I will make it known and whatnot. And if you guys want to reach out or whatever, I'm happy to do so. Because it's funny, because like Z3 Cubing, he's here from Colorado. I just saw him at a comp like last weekend, and it's so funny because like you go up and talk to him, and he acts like like he like you're in a bob room or something. And I just was gonna say what's up real quick, and I'm literally from like the same, within half an hour distance from him. I have the 251 standard, but they released with a air with magnets. I might get the MVC Elite and the air. Wanted to see if I have. Yeah, yeah, it is. People still seem to recommend it though. I don't actually even have the Elite, but I've heard so many people recommend it that I just feel like that's for that price point. That's right where my mind goes. Um, I have not met J Perm. Oh, you're from Bangladesh. Cool. So I was actually right on that one. You say it like you won. Okay, cool. Cool name, by the way. Uh, J Perm seemed. I mean, I wish he was still posting. I'm sad that he's playing Mario Kart instead of cubing right now. But whatever you got to do if you're burnt out, like if that's really what's going on, then you got to care about his mental health and whatnot first. But he seems like a great guy. I mean, I know I've never met him. I would love to. Hopefully, at a future comp, like I'm going to be going to Worlds this year, and I'm expecting to meet some big other YouTubers there. Um, Thank you. I appreciate the sub. You have no idea. We went from I think it was just like a week or two ago. We were at just getting to our 100 subscriber giveaway, and we're almost to our 200 subscribers now. So you guys have been amazing. Um, yes, Mario Kart is definitely less stressful than, especially once. I mean, I'm sure. I guess if you're playing high stakes Mario Kart, it could be really stressful. But for him, like with his position in life and like the level of expectations put on him, I'm sure it's a nice break. And again, you have to just always put people's mental health first. And as much as I wish, of course, that he was still uploading and whatnot, I just wish him the best. And like I said, hopefully I do get to meet him one day and wish him the best in person. But yeah, I personally, I think he's extremely intelligent. I think that um, the big so it's interesting. Like if you were to, what time do you average on 3x3? So we are just talking about this. Like cold, I might get somewhere between 25 and 30. Warm, I might get down sub 20. Um, like my PB is like a 15. Yeah, everyone needs a break, exactly. And it's funny because that's actually I want to interview Cubehead about this. Done a lot of research, and he did an interview with J.R. Cuber or Jesse from the Cubicle about burnout a while back. Um, nice, you won. My PB is 16.95. Beautiful. Keep up the good work. To be honest, the Cuban community is getting so competitive that yeah, exactly. So God, you guys are like, it's like you're pulling like, you're pulling the ideas right out of my brain. I've literally talked about these things. I was just saying how I don't know that there's going to be another year in cubing like this year or the last 2 years or whatever. I mean, the level of competition, the level of technology, I mean, like the people's times have dropped so drastically that it's like you said, it makes it I mean, I know a lot of people personally that don't even do 3 by 3 because they're like, I'm not gonna get to 4 seconds. So why bother? And that is a shame. That's where that level of competition is a shame if it's discouraging people from getting into the events and getting into the sport. Um, yeah, I would absolutely agree that it's getting like, because I was actually stressed like my first comps, just like you don't know what to expect, you don't know, what's going to happen, and eventually, I got to experience it and see that there's nothing to be scared of or worried about, and everyone's there to have fun and be supportive and all that, and so, but yeah, like, but still, you can be very hard on yourself. It's not like it's not like it's easy by any means, and yeah, it's more about just beating yourself at that point. I don't mean beating yourself up. I mean just competing against yourself. Hopefully, you can kind of keep the other people out of it and just keep trying to best yourself. Um, I know all of PLL. I do not know all of OLL. I'm gonna be 100% honest on that one. Um, so like I was with my cue. Nice. Sometimes it's worth it. Um, yeah, right. Like some people are just doing 4 seconds. Like, I mean, especially like Yihang, Timon, all them. Like, their look ahead is so epic that they just, they, I mean, yeah, they do it so casually that it's like, is that just so to be fair, I literally was scared to go to my first comp because I thought that if I didn't like get sub 5 or something, that I was like going to be laughed at. And that's um that's just it's sad. Like I said, it's sad if it's discouraging people from wanting to do it. That's why I just showed up one day and just I was like, I'm just gonna go and experience what it's like. And then I realized, oh, there's tons of people just figuring it out. Like there's tons of people just trying to make their do the best they can. Um, that's hilarious though that I almost broke my cube to PB 13 seconds because I could just see it getting so I'm gonna get my PB slam. Like I could totally see that. People need to say to themselves, I won't get 4 seconds, but let's see. Exactly. Like I said, you just need to be only competing against yourself. Just always be trying to do better and do better for yourself. Can you solve all? No, not all WCA. So like, I don't actually own a 6 by 6. I'm pretty sure I could solve one. I do 7 by 7. So that's why I believe I could do 6 by 6. I just didn't get it because I hate parodies. I was just saying I love 4 by 4, but I just hate the parodies. Uh, they're not so bad on 4 by 4 though, and but I do have most WCA events. Like I do 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, 7 by 7, Mega Minx, Clock, um, Scube. I'm not fast at that's something very new to me. Square one as well. Square one, I'm like I can solve, but I'm not any type of speed square one solver yet. And I am a CFOP solver. Someone actually just asked me earlier if I know Rue, and they were switching over for one was it blindfolded or one handed? Oh God, I can't remember now. But yeah, I personally I think I'm going to look into Rue. I've had a few people bring it up, and I think that's a pretty cool idea. Um, all right, let's do a solve. I feel like I've been gabbing forever. Jeez, almost broke my cube right there. Ah, God, my eyes are playing tricks on me. I thought that was a whole different. Thought that was a whole different. I thought that was a whole different case than it was. I was like, it was just a Soon. It was so easy, and I just like, wait, is that? I kept thinking there was a fourth corner exposed. Um, what's your most and least expensive? So my most expensive cube was probably. I mean, it's cheaper now. Oh, I totally forgot the GAN 12 UI. It's like, especially if you get the power pod, it's like 140, $130, something like that. My least expensive one is probably my first cube. This is the Chi Warrior S. This is one that I UV coated. I was just showing it earlier. I UV coated this one myself. This was like one of the first cubes I ever UV coated. And I actually magnetized this myself. So this is my very first cube ever, but it's been modded and been made into something that actually performs. I still, someone brought up that's funny colors, and I said, I don't like them either. Oh, and I got a 32. Sorry, did not mean to, to leave that out. Yes, I am into music. So I play drums, guitar, violin, bass, cello, uh, piano. Kind of like what I don't play a lot of the rarer instruments. Like I don't play a lot of brass or like because again I went to school for it, so you kind of had to learn. You have to take piano, you have to take vocals, you have to take a lot of things that you might not even be planning on using. But um, let's see. I can't comprehend why the Moyu R75 feels less premium than the Diane Pro M, despite being more. Um, I think it's because like for Moyu, like this like is their budget cube. So I think that like even though it's $25, like I think that it's hard to compare them because I think for Moyu, $25 is like giving it away because especially because you gotta think their standard one's only like $8.99. Um, so and they have their super way along at like almost $100 EPRM. Like that. Um, thank you for answering. Yeah, of course. No, have a great night, man. Thank you for checking in and thank you for stopping in at all. I mean, it's already been an hour and a half. Um, can you hear something play on an instrument real quick? Um, oh man, let's see. Oh, hopefully this is. Oh, hopefully this is even in tune. We'll see. That's a song that I wrote like God knows how long ago. But there you go. You guys asked. So what bands are okay, so don't open this can of worms. Polyphia is one of my favorites right now. And Piano was my original, just so you know. Piano rocks. Heck yeah. Nothing wrong with piano. Piano is like the baseline for everything you need to know. Especially like not a lot of people know this, so we're gonna get so off topic here, but like with pianos, essentially you have your scales like literally lined out from left to right, like right in front of you. It's the most like visually comprehensible instrument, I would say. I used to teach music to kids actually. That was my that was like one of my like when I got out of college, I ran a recording studio. I taught music. I was really into the music side, and then I switched over to science and the engineering and all that. Um, but yeah, like uh, teaching was such a rewarding thing, especially kids. But like, um, you'll have to sometime we'll get them on the live stream, and we can get them all excited for you, and then you can take your pick. I'll help you out with with the girl situation, no problem. Because I'm probably a little too old, so that's all you, buddy. But yeah, that definitely miss college. Yeah, that's you wouldn't be a college student if you weren't walking around with your acoustic guitar serenading the ladies, right? Like that's just the stereotype. Um, but yeah, it's funny that someone asked me to do an e-perm because I love them. I think they're one of the coolest algs. Like I didn't even think of that when people were asking me my favorite algs because it's not necessarily my fastest alg, and that's more what I was thinking when they were asking my favorite algs. But so like J perms, like it's something about those. You can just do them all day long. I mean, they literally just flow so well into each other. Um, and same with this is why I do the wide move A perm is because like it's so flowy and like so this getting to what we were talking about earlier. Hopefully these people are still here, but like say you like don't know all your algs, and this is not any excuse to not learn them, but like say you don't know something, um, like especially say you're bad with your left hand, like that's such an easy little trick I just did, but so I did an A perm and it set up the AB perm, right? Um, let me time it real quick. Let's just find out right now. Ah! Okay, I gotta do that over. Uh, ooh, bad. 2 second. Let's do it again. 2 seconds. Not good, buddy. Yeah, right around like I mean, I guarantee I do it faster than that, like when the cube's in my hands, like in a solve. But like from a starting position, I think like that's about what I'm looking at. Ah, that was terrible. There you go. Sub two, 1.5. Again, if I keep doing it, I'm sure I get it. I don't practice my algs quick like that. I should, but it's not a bad idea at all. But what I was saying too is like it's a little trick. So like say, and I was finding that a lot of kids were doing this at the comp. This is why I bring this up, is that a lot of them didn't know their PLLs. This is one first thing I noticed is most of the younger people did not know all of PLL, which I was very surprised because they were giving me a run for my money. But what they do is instead of knowing their PLLs, they just turn everything into a U perm essentially. So they'll take whatever case because you can pretty much like so if you take I have an A perm here. Oops, and if you do an A perm and just do a T perm, it actually sets up a Z perm, which is I know it's not a U perm, but it's not far off. It's one of those ones you get a lot. Um, but but yeah, like I was just telling some in my like training tips and whatnot that like if you are really having a hard time with an algorithm, don't give up on it and definitely keep learning it. But like in the meantime, like say you're in a competition and like you have to be able to finish your solve and you don't know that PLL. Like there's nothing wrong with in a temporary setting learning an alg that'll get you to somewhere where you can solve the cube. Just make sure that you don't rely on that long term, um, because that won't work. I love this trick. Oh, I love that. So like sometimes if you ever, so actually I'll show you guys something. Um, and again, most of you will probably know this, but this is something that I was teaching. So like here, for example, like I got a G perm. Again, if you say you don't know this G perm, you do a T perm and now you have your U perm. That's what I noticed what most of these kids were doing is they know one or two PLLs and that, I mean, besides the U perm, and they use those to turn everything into a U perm, and then from there, then they can, and it's just a quick little thing. Um, Quickly, actually, what do you guys like better, M slice U perms or RU move U perms? I'm always been an M slice. Um, Sorry, I was trying to watch through the camera, um, yeah, there's that was a little faster, I feel like I can do them pretty fast at this point, and I haven't found a faster way to do it. So I'd be curious what you guys. My most expensive cube is the GAN 12 UI free play, but it's a smart cube. If you're talking just straight up cube, then they're probably the GAN 13, and that only because it was $85 when it first came out. What's up, E-cubing? Welcome back, my friend. Um, I know full PLL and OLL, but don't know the names of any of the algorithms from PLL. Oh, really? Huh. So you know all of your orientation and permutation of your last layers, but you just don't know the names of the algs? That's interesting. So like when a case comes up, you know how to solve it, you just don't know the name. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Wow. That's actually very impressive because what that is like an extremely like skilled puzzled brain, I would think. Like someone's very skilled at solving puzzles because if you can just I would assume that your look ahead probably is pretty good also then like best oh gosh, I don't have it with me. I know it though. I just don't know off the top of my head. I do have one. It was it just it set up free pairs for days. I mean, I'm sure that everyone has those, but that's so interesting. So, and again, like I just want to know, just because, um, just for curiosity's sake. So, how quick do you solve then? If you, I know the names, but can't say if it's okay. So like, so R perm like just R perm is an RA perm, as far as I know. As far as I'm concerned, like it's the B's are like the subset or the like RB is like they'll usually say B when it's like not. I think the A is the standard case and B is like the inverse or whatever. Um, and so like the way I tell them all, I did I have a it's kind of like the way people do blind solving, the way they assign, letters to the cube and whatnot. Like when I went through my PLLs and stuff, especially PLLs, like G perms, for example. Like G perms are one of the hard ones to identify because you have four for one, and on top of that, I had to scramble all the corner edges already. Oh, nice. Yeah. See, like I said, everyone's got one of those. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it was it was like an X cross with like multiple free pairs and like F2L cross and F2L is where I'm least efficient. Like OLL and PLL, I can ram through pretty quickly. So yeah, like when I get it solved, that gives me a little bit of a hand on the first half. I'll smoke through that thing. But yeah, like um So Hamad has a good point. Like I said, I recognize them not so much by the name, but as the case I see. So, like I said, like when I see headlights, I'm immediately thinking like, is this a G perm? Like, is this, know certain cases. Like same thing. Like if you see a solved side, when you get to PLL, like there's only like a U perm, an F perm. There's only a few. Cases that have a actual solved side to it. And so it really doesn't so much matter, I guess, that you don't know the names of them. That's because no one's going to quiz you. Everyone's going to be like, so now that you've broken the world record, can you tell me the algorithms that you use? No one cares as long as you do it right. So more power to you. I know about 80 algorithms between literally no. That's hilarious though. That really is funny. But again, it's all for you. So again, no one's quizzing you, and like I guess if there was like some big PLL quiz for $1 million, you'd be in trouble. But I don't think that's happening. So I think keep rocking because yeah, like I that's more OLL than I know. I do team bit. Oh, team. Oh, with nice. Yeah, I bet you guys think of some interesting stuff between you, because I'm sure you don't even have the same like letter, assignments and whatnot for blind. So I'm sure you guys think of some. I would love to like, what you should do doing blind is you guys should take like the words you used for your solve and like try and write a story with it. And like you could write like the story of your cubing competition, and it might sound like nonsense, but you could be like snake bell rang swimming pool like, and it would be great to see what all of your team like what your notation wrote out. That would be hilarious. um nice. Yeah, CFOP is great. Like I said, I'm looking into Rue, but I don't know enough about it to like give any advice on it at this point. um I've seen enough other people solve that, like, I don't know, it seems a little bit like an older method, but I also love learning new things, and even if it's an old new thing, I love to learn. So, let's see. I've done so many solves at this point that all I need to see is one piece color for a split second. Yeah, I mean that's where you want to get to. That's the case. I mean that's the deal. Um, Especially like someone was asking earlier, like how do I get better at what was it, like efficiency in F2L or something like that. And like I said, definitely putting your first pairs into the back and whatnot. But case recognition, like I said, case recognition, look ahead, all of these things, inspection, all that are so important, because like he just said, if you can just look and notice one cube and or one square or one piece or whatever, and solve from there, that's mint. Because like for me, I reorient my top layer when I do my PLL. I do a lot of things that are time wasters. So if you can just solve from any orientation, that's another thing, is a lot of us are talking about algs doing them a certain way, where if you're when the real pros, they're doing those algs from any different orientation, whether it's front, back, sideways, right, left, like they're that's really what's important, and like, or what's impressive, I should say. Um, is like they don't need to have their headlights always on the left or this or that. Um, what's up, Shinju Gamers? I love that name. Um, it's better for efficiency, however, it's less algorithmic than CPOP. Interesting. So I might like it then, because um, like it's I've CFOP is absolutely so much about knowing, like memorizing a ton of information, and if Rue is a little more instinctual or intuitive, that would be really fun. Because like I said, I really like puzzles. I really like new. Oh gosh, here comes. Excuse us. I have a video on my channel that says there's a wild animal on the lace. It's my cat just walking around. She is wild though. She's a Bengal and she is kind of crazy. Like right now is when, so it's midnight in Colorado, and this is when she comes alive, starts getting crazy. Um, Practicing is a major factor in knowing the cube is important to be. Yeah, it is. It is like especially. Um, like knowing the cube is such a good way to put it because like understanding where your colors are at all moments, like even like when you have the say you rotate the cube because you're working on a certain pair or something, like knowing where the other colors are and like again being able to just insert them into the back instead of having to turn it, insert your pair because like if you notice from my solves a lot of time I turn the layer I'm working on to the front where if I could just solve into the back, into the back, into the front. That's much more efficient. Um, Orientations, they just do a U. Uh, anyway, sometimes I've seen people do them like backwards. I've seen um, yeah, I've seen some people like that. I mean, it makes me feel better. That's great because I that's where I what I usually do is I put them where they need to be and just and solve from there. But because it's not. I understand it's not like the top layer is can be turned however, and then at the end of the solve you just rotate your layer to finish the solve. I totally understand that. You don't need to be it's like the colors don't need to be lined up. Um, yeah, I was just saying that like they can do it from whatever orientation um like if they see it from this case, like they'll know it from that case, and they can even if they just do one flick and then do it. It's okay, are you color neutral? I am not. I am. I solve yellow and white right now. Working on it, but yeah, like color neutral. I feel like it's something I'll get as I spend more time cubing. Uh, some people that might have just joined might not know. Like I've only been cubing for about 2 years. I'm just a pretty obsessive mother. I'm an obsessive guy, and I love to learn. Um, and awesome! Congratulations on the average of 25 to 30. Right on. Um, two face recognition. But yeah, like oh for Rue. Oh okay. Yeah, see that's like I just need to do some more research because like I want to be able to interact, and have more knowledge about this. I don't have much I can. Where you can recognize just by looking at two signs. Oh, no problem. Have a good night, Hamad. Hamad Ridam. I love saying your name. It's awesome. No worries, man. You guys do whatever makes you feel comfortable. This is just a night of cubing between fellow cubers. That's all it is. So I'm gonna do this five, but I'm also gonna try a couple different cubes. Actually, no, I'm gonna do it all with my special edition or WRM. It's midday here. I think about that a lot actually because I noticed I watch the times that people tune in and whatnot, and I did notice that I have a good amount of people from the other side of the world, which is awesome. Uh, yeah, right on. Yeah, that's crazy. Me, I'm from all over. I was born in Missouri. I have lived in California for most of my life, and I was wondering if you guys were talking to each other because you're both in somewhere where it's midday. But yeah, how many cubes do I have? Ooh, I don't even know. Especially well, so a lot of them I do for giveaways, so I give them away. But like my cubes, I have UV coated probably at least 5 to 10. I have um. Oh, sweet, Australia, awesome, nice. Uh, yeah, that makes sense too. You're on that like that. Uh, timeline from the same as like I would imagine similar to like Asian countries and whatnot, right? Um, I'm from India. Oh, wow, so India and Australia 4.5 hours difference. Is that what you're saying? It's 12:30 there. I guess I need to look at a map. All right, I'm gonna try something on this first solve. So this is something I've been working on in general. Um, is like implementing X crosses into your solves. So like I have this free pair right here. It could easily go into right here. Um, One thing that so this red, actually what I should have done is I should have turned that red over first and then put that in. But what I've been trying to work on is taking these blue edge pieces for the cross, and so if obviously if you bring it to this side where your pair is, bring it down, sledge it in, you can easily set up an X cross for yourself. And this is something, so we have another pair. Let's go ahead and insert that pair too. Let's go ahead and insert sledge that piece in as well. Now, if we bring this orange piece in, we just did a double X cross. This is something like I get that people want fast times, but like I definitely sit here and I plan out solves like move by move. Make sure I'm missing. Why Puppet Cube is so hard? I don't know, man. I just got into square one and that's awesomely fun, but I haven't quite gotten it or mastered the Puppet Cube yet. Um, but yeah, that's so when you guys see too, like on my on my page, if I say I was trying to implement X crosses, that's what I mean, is I'm trying to kind of not force them into my solves, but just kind of like figure out a way to get more of them. Square one algos, yeah, they're weird, and the notation's weird. I mean, honestly, so I gotta give a lot of credit to Ting Man. I gotta say this real quick. Because he's not like who I would usually turn to for tutorials on things. But his tutorial on Square One was the one that got me through it. Like I was watching the Z3 cubing one, and a lot of them like they know what they're talking about, and as they get like halfway through the tutorial, they're like, so just do that algorithm from here, and it's like, what was that? And you didn't put it on the screen. Like you're like, I have no idea what's happening anymore. Like they forget that you're not an expert yet and that you're just doing it for the first time, so you're probably going to need the algorithm every time on the screen. You're probably going to need, so yeah, I had a little bit of a hard time following that one, and he didn't go over all the cases. Also, like he kind of just went over the ones that he got. But like as a Ting Man, whew, did a good tutorial. Like I haven't watched many of his before, but he did a really good tutorial. Um, so and then in this solve, talking about recognizing cases, we had someone talk about just being able to see like one piece and know. So like in this case, I know we have headlights. Again, these headlights don't need to be on the blue side. You can do it from anywhere. We have headlights, and you either have for any G perm, you're gonna have a two block like this. So if it's a GA, it's gonna be on the bottom, like facing you. GB is gonna be top right. GC is gonna be upper on top, and then GD is going to be down here. So it goes like kind of does like a cross pattern like this. So it goes A, B, C, D. So it kind of it's like dun 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 dun. And that's how I always can tell. So like this would be an A G B perm. Um, no worries, man. I was at 5%. I had to plug in, and you guys have been super understanding and hung in with me while I got my whole camera here set up and everything. So That's the one. Yeah, he's like, if you gotta watch your own tutorial, and he is a funny guy, don't get me wrong. He's not my first choice as far as tutorials, that's all I was saying, but like his was good. I mean, you gotta give credit where credit's due, you know? Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna do a video for you guys. Nice. Yeah, that's probably a pleasant surprise. You're like, man, I got a collection. But I'm gonna do a video for you guys. I've had this request a few times for like a whole cube collection video, and I did that like when I first started this channel, but I had far less cubes. So I'll do one where I'll bring out all my cubes. It's probably gonna be somewhere like at least 50 to 100 cubes. Um, Especially, I have a lot of most of mine are all WCA. I have very few, like I was just showing, like talking about, like this is called the Star Cube. It's the most ridiculous name ever. It's literally just a ball, but for some reason, this is called the Star Cube. Um, Really fun. If you guys haven't ever like solved something like this, it's actually really, really fun. Um, Very intuitive. There are really no algorithms. It's all just puzzle solving. Um, and yeah, it's a lot. Okay, that'll be a deal. At 1K, we'll do a cube collection. We'll do a everything we've come across in our 1,000 subs journey. How about that? Okay. Actually hit another cube. My hand, as I was doing that out, my finger hit another cube and kind of tripped me up. Um, all right. Someone asked me this earlier. I'm like just learning one hand. I'm slow as all get out. Yeah, I'm just, we were talking about this earlier, the best techniques for one hand, and like he just said, practice your, right algs and stuff until you can just blaze through it. Um, because I was telling people earlier, my biggest hang up is I don't have that finger. Like, so you're supposed to really be doing pinky, uh, sorry, index, and then pinky this way. This is where as soon as the cube gets at all out of shape, it gives me a hard time. But yeah, you're supposed to use your pinky for your R moves and your pointer finger for your U moves. And so again, had that same pair. Here's our blue and white. So let's sledge that in. Now let's see. So, and also like this orange obviously doesn't go here. We can take any piece we want, sledge it in there, kick that orange out, um, and then if say we had like a both pairs, like this pair was made too, then you could sledge that piece in and keep that pair as well. Um, yeah, I don't like personally. I don't like to do like R2 moves to insert my cross pieces. I try to avoid it. Sometimes it happens, um, but yeah, that's my number one thing I've been working on lately, though, is trying to get um, X crosses in my solve because again, F2L efficiency is so big, and the more you can kind of skip um, not necessarily skip, but like, yeah, I know it is a skip. Actually, it is a skip. The more you can skip certain, F2L pairs, the more you can blast right through that and get to your OLL, PLL, and um, I mean, we were just talking about this. If my OLL takes me at least 2 to 3 seconds, I mean, right there, I mean, my solve's not going to be anywhere near a world record solve. So, um, you should try using CubeDB to find better cross. Oh, cool. That's a great idea. Yeah, I love when people give me new ideas for like, especially for resources like that. Like that's awesome. I'll do that after, probably after the stream. Um, that's awesome. Yeah, if you guys have any great cubing resources that you know of that I might not have heard of, and even if I do, shout them out, and it still can't hurt anyone to find out about it. Maybe someone else doesn't know about it. I think the GC perm is my favorite of the three because of the way it ends. So you have your um, R2, and then yeah, you have your U prime R, U prime R, U, R prime U, and then again R2, and then you have your U and D prime, and then you have a R, U prime, R prime, D. That, oh man, that sets up the GD case. But yeah, GC, I think, yeah, GD is the first one I learned because it starts off with the moves of the righty alg, and then you do a D move, and you do R2, then you do a U prime, and so a lot of it just feels very like um, it feels very intuitive. What's up, Shinju gamers? Welcome back. GA, yeah, I mean, so to be fair, they're all similar. Like the GA and GC are mirrors of each other, and GB and GD are mirrors of each other. So it kind of just depends which one you like. And it's for me the only time I screw them up is when because they're mirrors of each other. Sometimes I'll just do like one move from the opposite alg, and it's of course that's gonna screw everything up. But like, I just yeah. Um, that part, that double flick, and then that I love that the way that alg ends. That is so fun. Um, so yeah, the consensus overall so far, like I love I love the RS3MV5. I like my YS3M also. YS3M is like usually when I'm feeling a little bit more aggressive with my turning style, and I feel like I'm just really gonna almost overturn. That's when I usually use this cube. But right now, I'm feeling like the RS3MV5 or the WRM-V9 Special Edition. Like I said, I added maglev back into my Special Edition because I just think that I like you because I use the RU. Oh, you use a different one? Okay. And that's okay. Everyone, to each his own. And honestly, again, I don't claim that the algs I use are the best. They're the ones that I've learned. That's why I'm always open, like I said, to anyone introducing other resources for finding algorithms, cross solutions, anything like that. You put in a reconstruction and it gives you a better way to do cross. Oh, what? That is awesome. What? I didn't. How did I not know about that? Also, OLO and PLO, but not as useful. Very cool. So on that tip of like training tools and whatnot, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the GAN 12 UI, but I really like the like it will take you through all of F2L, every single case. It'll take you through OLO, PLO. Yeah, it is in depth that whole like training segment they have. But yeah, that if you get a chance, try out the I mean, I know it's expensive, but you can also get like the GAN i3 or the GAN iCarry or whatever. But like I know everyone says the 12 UI is the best, which I don't disagree with, but I will say it's kind of false advertisement in a way because the GAN 12 UI is not the same as the GAN 12. Make that a note because my neighbor has the GAN 12. I don't have one anymore. I just have the UI. And when you disassemble the cubes, the corner stock where the torpedo or like the corner to core magnet is, um, it's a much bigger magnet on the GAN 12, making the like auto alignment and like the snappiness of all the turns and everything much heavier. Where my 12 UI is lacks a little bit in magnets. I mean, I actually put in the heaviest magnets you could, but it still is pretty weak. Oh, this cube feels so weird. This is the Worm V9 Ball Core UV edition. You can feel it. Like this is exactly what other people didn't like, though. Is it like so GA perm? So here's your GA perm. I'd love to know what your different alg is actually. Um, I would love to know what the GA perm alternative is. Let's see. What do you average on clock? So clock is pretty new for me. Like I just did it in my last unboxing, but I have gotten pretty good, like 20 seconds. But again, that's like in 2 weeks. That's about how long I've been doing clock. Um, yeah, not surprised because it also has extra stuff in it. Yeah, exactly. There's the whole gyroscope, the computer. I mean, to be fair though, it's also still very light. I think it's like still 68 grams. It's not even in the 70s for being a smart cube. Um, the start feels like a JB perm. So that's another one that I do a funny version of. So I don't know if like I personally don't know what you guys do for a JB perm, but I just do my same J J perm, but I do with my other hand. Um, it it for me it seems to work out. It's not quite as fast yet because I'm not ambidextrous and it's going to always take me a little longer to get my left hand going. But yeah, I do it just like that. Essentially, again, you just have this case facing you. You have your 2 by block on the left here, and just pull that down. It's pretty easy, honestly. Like, um, the hardest part is this first move because again, I'm so awkward with my left and right hand. Like, I'm so not ambidextrous, and it's taken me a long time to get there, to where I'm even close. But yeah, I'd love to know. Actually, I guess I can just look it up afterwards. But I'd love to know what you guys do for a JP perm. I average 3.8 to 4.1. Oh, is that clock? Oh my God, you have me like, I thought you were talking about 3 by 3. I was like, it's like, why aren't you ruling the world? But that's still amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, that is still phenomenal. I'm not taking anything away from that. I really thought you meant 3 by 3 at first. And I was like, what? Yeah, yeah, it's tough when if you're right hand dominant, like, I mean, it's just, especially your muscle memory is gonna be to use your right hand. So you have to like retrain that first train your body and your mind to think that both hands work the same and are as efficient. It's really hard. I mean, I'm one of those people, if I try to throw a baseball with a left hand, you'd laugh. Um, okay, so that's the same JB pyramid you do. Okay, nice. Um, I wasn't sure. Like, I just, like I said, it's been so long since I actually looked that one up that I just haven't, what's interesting is if you do like either right-handed and left-handed or either way, and you end up with a Y perm. Those are one of my favorites too. People asked what my favorite algs were. Boom and dun 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 dun. Dun. That's that's slick. Especially that sledge at the end. That the dun, 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 dun. And then that sledge right at the end. That's great. That's satisfying. Yeah, Y perms. I love them. Like I said, there's not many I don't know or I'm not pretty good at these days, like or I'm not faster at. It's really like I said, just the G perms because like those are the last ones I learned. So I'm just a little slower. J A I use okay X R2 F R F prime R U2 R Y prime. I did something very wrong. That is not at all. I use, oh, I didn't do the I thought it ended at the end of the line and there's more moves over here. I'm like, why didn't this work? Sorry about that. I'm not feeling particularly smart after that. Uh, So here's like a perfect instance of what I was talking about earlier, where you need to insert this piece and you have both pairs in. So what I would do essentially is I would sledge it in, and what's going to happen is this pair is probably going to get kicked out and just be sitting right here. And so all you have to do is either sledge it back in or insert it how you would. So again, there it goes. We now have our edge piece in, but this pair came out, and now you can just sledge, and now you have all those fixed. So again, if anyone has any other ideas about implementing X crosses, go ahead and shoot them out. Because I know obviously they're going to happen on their own, but I would like to try and have some control over it. Uh, let's see. I'm gonna do this alg again now that I got the whole thing. Okay. X R2 F R F prime R U2 RY prime U RY U2. Oh, I think I did. I was this from JPerm's website because I could have swore that I tried this one, and this is a good alg. It just not like fast or familiar with it yet, but I want to say I saw him actually even talk about this. I want to say it was on JPerm's website. So let's do it again. RTF R F prime R U2 RY prime U RY U2. Yeah, that's a great alg. That one's so satisfying to do. Headlights in front. Yeah, R U R F. So it starts off like a J perm. R U R. Then it has a righty alg and R F R U R F R2 U prime R prime U prime R U R prime F prime. Interesting. Okay, this is our GB perm. Interesting. Or I guess that was probably a GA and that set up a GB. I get you. I got you. Sorry. If you have a soft corner edge, then put the corner edge in before doing the D move, and then it end, or if you did the D move already, then keyhole it in. It helps. Oh, Man, e-cubing, you're awesome, man. Thank you for all the advice. This is why I do this, is to get a good conversation going back and forth between cubers. Um, like I said, it's so rare to get to actually do this where you communicate and whatnot, and get to actually just put out a question and get a straight answer right away. Usually, I'd have to spend hours looking through YouTube. Um, yeah, dude, you're awesome. Like, how long have you been cubing? Because you seem very knowledgeable. It's very impressive. Nice. Man, that I'm right on. It's very inspiring. It's also almost frustrating to know that there's people that have been cubing around the same time as you, and they're just slaying the. Again, it's all about what you put into it. I mean, you get out what you put in, and just like any sport when you're growing up, or any maybe chess, anything that you were learning to do, you try to be good at. You surround yourself with the best. If you surround yourself with the best, that's why you can't really. We were talking about this earlier, how like the competitive nature of cubing has kind of been somewhat of a turnoff for a lot of people, and um, this is exactly the opposite of that. This is people like helping each other. And the pattern's clocked out. That's okay. I mean, shoot. I found also that like this is, and I found this from other cubers too, is this goes fits in right with what I was just talking about. So because of the competitive nature of the scene right now, and like people are getting so discouraged, thinking I shouldn't even do 3x3 because I'm not going to get a 5 or 4 second. I'm never going to win. I'm not going to. It's like for all the more reason to do other events, clock and other things in one hand, and all that blindfold. I mean, now I realize why people pick other events and just specialize in that, and because that's where they excel, and they're not, again, they're not looking to be the next, world champion necessarily. They're just trying to better themselves all the time, and yeah, I really respect that. I do. I really have a lot of respect for the people that are on their own personal mission with cubing, and aren't so much concerned about what's going on around them. I mean, you always want to be aware of like good education and good knowledge and good resources, but I mean like the other people and the noise that's around you. I started in 20 quarantine, but stopped immediately. Started again. Lost my small collection of five while I was moving. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Um, Well, just so you know, Edwin, we do giveaways on this channel. Every week, usually, we give away either a customized cube or some cube that I have some kind of fondness for. And it's not like I make it hard. Really just have to like, subscribe, and comment. And usually, I ask for like a favorite cube, a favorite cuber. This week, it's any type of idea for a video or anything you'd like to see out of this channel. Um, but yeah, man, enter. I'm the kind of people. I mean, the last person, I think it was like him and his daughter cubing together, the winner, and I just thought that was so cool. And yeah, I love to, I love to hear people's stories too about how they got into cubing, how they may have stopped, and what got them back into it, and it's just very cool. Um, because like I said, I have my own origin story. We all do, so I can appreciate that. But that is a bummer. I would be so sad if I lost my only cubes. You're, I'm guessing it was some consolation that they were cheaper, but yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry. It's so funny too that you do e-cubing, that you do one-handed and clock, because again, I've just started practicing one hand like officially, like actually doing whole solves and everything, and then and I just got a clock like a week ago. So yeah, I feel you, man. Like some other events, I think are just calling my name. All right, let's solve this. Wow, this thing feels good in my hands. Oh, thanks, man. And I have that cube. Cube is literally sitting right here. This two by two. The UV coating came out gorgeous. It's like seriously perfect. I went up and showed like a family member, and they said, "You did that?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, it looks like it came from the store like that. And I said, yeah, that's the idea. So, yeah, hopefully, I reward the people that are like constant supporters, that are like week after week, that are there grinding it out with me, that give me their feedback, that are so. If you stay tuned in the channel, you have a good chance of winning. Um, cool. That's cool that you went to Australian Nationals. I would love to. I haven't been to any of the bigger events yet. Wow. Oh, well, with your times, I forgot what your time was. With your times, I believe it. That is very believable. That's freaking epic. Oh God, I already did that wrong. Uh, yeah, just said how much I like that alga. I didn't even recognize it. I got a Y perm. It's so funny because like my cross was so slow, and I felt like I was off to a terrible start, and then it still got sub 30. And then I got a couple good pairs and a good PLL and good OLL, and all of a sudden, boom! Yeah, I really thought that was gonna be bad. I was like pausing way too much. Average nowhere near that then though. Oh well, still it sounds like you were doing good, and that's I always wish people the best. I hope that you do well in the future too. Average like high five. That is still. I mean, I know this is a sport of like milliseconds, but that's still very good. I'd still be proud of that. I had some people I interviewed at the comp, and they were saying how they didn't make the cutoff for Mega Minx. But and I said, he said, but he got a PB, and I was like, so it was a good day. I'm like, just because you didn't win today doesn't mean that you didn't have a good day. I got a 597 average tied third. Oh, man, these stories are heartbreaking. God, I can't even imagine. Um, dang. Yeah, I haven't decided yet, but I'm still between the RS3M, the WRM V9 Special Edition with maglev added back in, and I'm 0.003 off. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. That's just shame. That's a shame, and I'm sure that I'm. God, I'm sure you did well. Amazing too. Oh. Should have sledged. There's just sometimes when sledging is so much more efficient. Um, there was an RA perm for people we were talking about earlier, but I don't know the difference between RA and RB. So like it's straight. It's so simple. Like to me, like the visual. I don't necessarily. The only reason I remember the names is because I've recently learned them all, but and I used the list to learn them. But your RA perm essentially is you're gonna have your switching your adjacent edges or corners here. Sorry, and then two adjacent edges over here. RB perm is just taking that far edge and just swapping these now. So you have your um, adjacent corners and adjacent edges. Uh, it's all about just recognizing the cases. That's why if you don't know the names of them, Uh, there is no like quiz about knowing the names, so as long as you can see them and execute them, that's what matters. Um, you know, what time? Right, it's almost 1 in the morning here. Yeah, I'm in Colorado in the U.S., so yeah, it's almost 1 in the morning. Uh, I have a few cubes now, still small collection of my old GMS from the first drop. How do you like that old GMS? Is it still relevant? The Super RCM, that's still a great cube. I got bought that for a friend as their first cube. What's up, Yuan? I remembered how to say your name. Late night, yeah, exactly. So part of the reason too, I haven't I was supposed to post, training stuff this morning and more warm up solves. I kind of just posted what I could. I've had a family member in the hospital, so just been dealing with some personal things as well. But yeah, it was an early morning because they just got home from the hospital too. So early morning, late night, all that, and then still up late cubing. I just can't quit. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's never easy when it's family, but everything is getting better. So good things to report. What do you mean? I mean the RCB5. So V5. I was just saying this earlier. So I'm kind of doing a little test to see what I like best, but the V5 is in the running. The WRM V9 Special Edition, where I've added maglev back in, that's in the running, absolutely. And then the YS3, all ball core UV edition. Um, is there anyone out there that ooh, okay, there's a Sledge X Cross. I just love that when that happens. It feels so good. And I love that someone brought up keyholing earlier too, because I forget to bring that up sometimes, and it's so important. Um, and if you don't know what keyholing is, um, it's a method for inserting a piece, um, say you want to insert this piece down here. This is where he's talking about lining up your cross and also sliding in like a keyhole. I think that's what it means at least, because you can set up your corner piece into your cross, align your cross, and then put this piece into the pair. So say you didn't have, say you didn't even have this here at first, you can drop this corner down here, again, realign your cross and put your pair into place. Um, so if you I know again the fundamentals of all of this, but I don't always implement it. So I I'm trying to learn to walk the walk as much as I talk the talk. I'm getting a lot of J perms. I'll take them though. Okay, yeah. I just want to make sure I had that right. Thank you. So I've never tried the iCarry. I've only had the GAN 12 UI. I've heard like so I really liked Sean from SpeedCube Review. He's also a musician. He's also a teacher. He's just a very interesting human, I think. I've had some interesting conversations with him online, and he personally, I think, uses all of those smart cubes. I mean, everyone will say the 12 UI is probably the best, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just don't think that the performance quite keeps up with what the GAN 12 offers. But if you're just looking for a good smart cube, I'll let you know. I race people that have the iCarry or the i3 or whatever all the time on CubeStation because I'll sit there and I race all the time, and that's I was I was talking about this earlier. That's one of the best features is one, the racing. Turns your just cubing by yourself into like a video game. It feels like Street Fighter. It's like versus go. I mean, it feels pretty intense. But again, me having the GAN 12 UI, I regularly lose to people better at cubing than me that have a GAN iCarry. So the cube doesn't make the man. But I think also you do get what you pay for to a certain extent. Because they're all GAN puzzles that you're going to be considering mostly anyways. I don't think there's anyone that makes a good smart puzzle besides them at the moment. I mean, Moyu makes a good puzzle, but their app is trash, and then there's just there's not a lot of good options. Do I have any vault cubes? That's a great question. Um, I actually was so one of the kids at the competition was maining the Valk 3. That was a great feeling cube. He also brought up the Valk 5, which my neighbor brought over the other day. Man, that is a good cube. I thought it was almost even discontinued, but you can still just pick it up on the cubicle. It's still $50 though. It's not cheap, but but man, does that cube feel nice? I have to say, like that has got to be one of the best feeling. I was tempted, so I bought the X-Men Hong, um, and I really like it. Uh, I can't say really anything bad about it. It's UV coated. It's got a ball core. Um, at first, honestly, I was like, I don't think I noticed the ball core, but then I did some solves on my Auschwang, and you start feeling like when you start trying to do algs and the whole cube starts like deforming and whatnot. You're like, oh, I you can feel because again, this one's like really you know, but this one keeps its form really well, and I will say that's got to be the ball core in there. The layers are very nice feeling. The middle magnets or inside magnets are definitely stronger than the outside. So, yeah. Did they have the original Volk or the Volk? I think the Volk 3M. I want to say. I'm pretty sure it was it. Excuse me. Whew, getting late. It was a young Russian kid actually. It was so interesting. Like some of those kids I met there were some of the most interesting kids. They're actually on my channel. If you watch the video of the comp that day, he talks about the Volk. He says how he wants to buy one so he can do a comparison video with me for doing because I had just unboxed the Hong. Those kids actually unboxed it for me at the comp. Um, how to know if your cube is low on battery. So that's something where the GAN 12 UI and the iCarrier i3 are very different. Those cubes use a replaceable battery where it's like good for something like 100 hours or 200, something like a really big amount of time. Where the GAN 12 UI is like, I forget, it's something lower, like 20 to 50 hours, something like that. Like it's still a reasonable amount of time, but it has this like charging case that's like for like your AirPods. You put it in there and it holds 8 different charges. So I keep with that thing regularly, and it's only died once since I've gotten it. So yeah, I would think that the the eye carry would probably last forever, but when it probably does die, it's probably a bummer because then you got to open it up and change the batteries and whatnot. But for the most part, it's very user friendly. I remember because it just works forever. But I don't know personally. You might have to like look that one up online. Um, So actually, no, I take that back. So I don't know if yours also has it, but um, okay. More power, whatever, whatever floats your boat, I guess. Just don't eat my cat. She's a good one. But I look on the CubeStation app. So this is a serious answer to your question about the battery. I figured you were joking. I, I I hope you know I'm joking too. I don't condone anyone eating cats, but for real, like if you're looking at your Cube battery, I just thought of this. Mine displays on the Cube Station app. When I have my Cube paired with the Cube Station app, my battery appears, and that's actually how I know mine needed charging. So try syncing here with the app and see if your battery life thing shows up on there. If not, then maybe just invest in some new batteries and just be ready when it dies. But yeah. Okay, let's just do one more and then I'm gonna call it a night since it's getting pretty late here. I really appreciate everyone chiming in and like I mean, I honestly really thought I would just be, by myself, just cubing for a while, and then you know I would eventually just get bored and get off. But I really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. So, oh, I messed something up. My X cross. I might have to do another solve just to redeem myself. That pissed me off. That was, oh, I'm just so, I don't even know what happened right there. Uh, it's on. So are you like, I'm Mountain Time. Are you like Minnesota? Like, not East Coast, but what is it? Um, God, there's Pacific, Mountain, blah blah blah. What- um, so you got to be like, if it, because it's almost 1 o'clock for me. So you got to be like one time zone over from me. Jeez. Ah, man, that was bonehead move right there. Ooh, almost forgot my PLL. Okay, that was, so we talked about this way earlier. This was hours ago in the live stream now, but we were talking about the best perms and whatnot, best algs. That I got the NB perm that time, and I just like I froze. I was like, I was expecting it to be the NA perm, and that one is. Apologies. I was cubing so hard I knocked the camera over. Oh, Chicago. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, like that's the time. That was I was trying to think of of the time zone, and I just could not think of anywhere. My cube did not blink when I turned on the cube. Oh, then it might be done. So yeah, when you just move a layer or whatever, it starts to blink. That's how mine works at least. So if it's not blinking, then your batteries are probably done for. I was going to leave, but let's just stay till the end of the stream. It's also pretty late for me to. Um, well, I'm gonna call it a night. It's like 12:55. Well, actually, let's do one more just because that'll be. We'll talk for a minute and we'll call 1 o'clock the official ending time here. My cat's just like sitting on a high perch watching me. I told you she's crazy. You think I'm kidding? It is a perfect left-handed case for F2L that I almost would ignore usually because, oh, there's my wide move A firm. I literally got my like one of my favorite albums to end the night. How nice is that? Oh, I didn't stop the timer. Um, okay, I was going to, yeah, like so I'll call it a night here in just a minute, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you for enduring. Yep, still grinding. What's up? Welcome back, Hamad. I was just saying we're probably gonna call it a night here. It's 1 o'clock. We're 3 minutes from being at 1 o'clock in the morning here. Thank you, dude, and thank you for your input, eCubing. I just so you know, I just as much appreciate you guys and what you guys bring to this. This is not a one-way street. This is definitely. I may be on the screen, but I very much appreciate what you guys say. So, um, yeah, that's why, like I said, it's interesting to find cubers that are like celebrity status. It's just funny to me. I don't think there'd be a time where I would ever be bummed that someone was excited to see me. It's like I said, I saw Z3 cubing at the event, and he was like, "Oh God, don't anyone talk to me." I just felt kind of bad. I don't know if he gets bombarded really bad, but um, and dude, again, thank you guys, and thank you for the compliments. Like seriously, it's this kind of stuff that makes it worth it because you put in this work and you're like, I hope everyone's gonna like it. I think I'm doing a good job, but this just means a lot. I mean, I'm not like so fragile where I would just, quit or anything, but it always keeps you going. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where um, it lets you know how your people. 'Cause you're not my audience. You're not my fans. Like I'm not anyone special. I'm literally just a guy. So um, you're just the fellow cubers. That's how I look at it. So um, yeah, hopefully everyone has a great night, and I will. Why not? I'll be really happy about it. See, I'd be stoked if someone recognized me. I'd be like, right on. Let's do some autographs. I'm just kidding. Take some pictures. What do you need? But uh, thank you. That is so kind. It's funny. I actually watched an interview with Mr. Beast. This will be the last little thing I say, and he brought up such an interesting point. And again, this is just getting away from cubing, but just YouTubers and fame and whatnot. But he said it's very interesting the way fame works because someone asked him if he thought he was at the top level of fame and fortune and whatnot, and he said absolutely not. He goes, there's the Elon Musks, there's the Taylor Swifts of the world and whatnot. He goes, who not only have been rich and famous for a much longer time than me, but they're also working in an industry that's an established industry where YouTube, especially monetizing YouTube, and especially to the level that he's done it, is something very new. No one's really done that, and he said that at like 10 million subscribers, you have a certain my PB is it's like 14. It's like a 14 2. But yeah, he was saying like 10 million subscribers, you pretty much like you go out and like once a week maybe you get seen and you get noticed in the store and it's like you get a video or a picture or whatever. So like at what was it like 100 or no, it was at a million. That's what happens. At 10 million, you go out every week, and it's like pretty much once a week you can count on, or once a day, people will notice you, and they'll start like validating your work to your friends and stuff because people will be with you and they'll see people who recognize you. But they said once you hit 100 million subscribers, it's like you can't leave the house. You're just bombarded um, and just yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm getting there. Like I said, it takes a good day. It takes a lot of practice and warm up. It doesn't come easy. I think fame depends on how much longer you're capable. Absolutely, and that's exactly kind of what I'm saying too. Is like Mr. Beast is in a different lane that no one's ever been in. So how long can he maintain this level of YouTube stardom? Where in the music industry, in like Elon Musk, I mean he's kind of also his own individual path with the SpaceX and the electric vehicles and all these things he's doing. He's definitely blazing his own trail, and uh, I know Mr. Beast and Elon Musk like communicate on like DM regularly. But yeah, I think that's a very well put statement. Is that your fame definitely depends on like how well you're capable of maintaining your influence and how well you're able of maintaining even maintaining your fame while you're famous. But this was just a random tangent. We're at past 101. I just wanted to like go off on a random tangent for a second, but again, Mr. Beast fascinates me. He's only 25. I don't know if most people know that. 25 years old. I just know when I was 25, I was not that successful, not even close. But I wish you guys all the best night. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. Um, I'll have to do this more often now that you guys, I know you guys like appreciated it and whatnot. I will absolutely do this. This is fun, anyways. It's a cool way to kind of just check in, and I don't know why I haven't live streamed before. Yeah, thank you guys for your information and for your input and support, and I will see you all soon. Yeah, his come up was unreal, right? I mean, it's like in Yeah, I mean, it's like, and when he tries to give advice about, growing and whatnot, it's like no one's gonna be Mr. Beast, no matter if you follow his advice or not. But all right, you guys have a good night. I see everyone's checking out, so I'm gonna check out too. Thank you again. Have a beautiful evening. Everyone rest well, and if it's the afternoon, have a beautiful day. I understand some people are in different places. And ciao, I love that. See ya. Yes, I love ciao. I'm gonna say that. You guys have a good night. Oh, and a good afternoon.